Here we have my 1981 Volkswagen Rabbit. It's been sitting since 1995, and I pulled it out of mothballs so that I could make it run again. I'm going to try to make the car reliable and take it on a road trip. I'm going to drive this thing about 1,000 miles or so next month. This one's gasoline. I played around with it a little bit with some carburetors. As you can see, I've got a funky intake manifold there with 4 runners. So I had individual runners. I had 4 snowmobile carburetors on it, and they ran, but it wasn't reliable. It wasn't practical. So this is me re-engineering this car. That's that intake manifold portion, and see how it fits. Like I'd mentioned before, this is a reuse. This is from a previous project where I had my turbo diesel Volkswagen motor and my buggy, my sand buggy. Well, I've got this thing cut up, a whole pile of parts right there on the mill. Now I've got to cut holes in this piece right here so that they match the intake manifold ports, and then weld my box together. Here at the junkyard, we call this thing a "you can't buy it." That ought to sit about right there. And it'll be facing the right way so you can actually see the Holley Sniper EFI on the side of it. Why buy expensive race parts if you can't show them off? That's all it'll be, is a show off. It won't make any horsepower. We got to bolt it on. Intake manifold's built. It's all welded up. Don't critique my welding. Holley Sniper EFI on a Volkswagen. We've got to get that fuel tank in there. The one that was in this car originally was rusted out really bad, and that's the one out of my first Rabbit, which was my dad's car. It's 1 year older. It's an 80 instead of an 81, and it was a diesel, but that's good because it shouldn't be that rusty inside. It should be pretty clean. So gotta drop the rear end down a little bit, get in there, mount that fuel tank, mount the fuel pump, fuel filter. Take this fuel pump. This is the one that came with the Holley Sniper EFI. I think it's a clone of the Bosch. I think I'm gonna mount it right here somewhere. Let me make like a what's the toot and get on my back. Might be a little hard to see upside down like this, but here's the fuel pump. Filter feeds through, comes to the 3/8 line. I put a ball flare, steel lines all the way down. They transition from inverted flare to, one is JICAN, Earls, whatever you want to call it. The other one is just a barb because it's low pressure, it's a return. Oh, I'm so old. They come up from back down in there, all the way up to the throttle body. Holley Sniper EFI on a Volkswagen. So we've got the Volkswagen running. Let's go again. I think it's ready for a test drive. I forgot what it's like to sit in these Recaro seats. They're a little snug. This American EFI is trying to learn German engineering. First time this car has been really driven since around 1996. A little rough. I think the shocks are a little stiff. Oh man. A little smoky, but that's kind of to be expected. Yeah, the brakes need a lot to work on the brakes. Brakes are very unhappy. 179 degrees. High idle. I didn't know the Volkswagen had a self-lowering version. That thing was riding so rough, as you could tell in the video, but it was because the struts were seizing and it's seized up in the low position. But that's cool. That gives me an idea of what it's going to look like lowered. I think it's going to look good. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to pull that 1.7 out. We're going to put in a 1.8. Then we're going to use a different transmission that's out of my son's truck. And that'll give it some good highway gears. Oh God. This car's fun. Yeah.
Smells delicious.
Yeah, it smells like paint burning off. Yeah, this is probably the only video footage confirming that that's the new engine and that's it running on the new engine with the fuel injection. But there it is, yeah. I still got a lot to do. This is not permanent. This is definitely not permanent. Gotta get an air filter on it. I gotta get my brake booster hose hooked up. And maybe a hood and the radiator. Oh, sorry, this is a radiator. Maybe a hood and a fan, radiator fan.
Yeah, hood might be nice.
Yeah.
Or you just leave it.
More to come.